O Lord, you have searched me and known me. You know when I sit down in the driver's seat and when I rise up through the gears. You discern my thoughts from a car.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you find yourself. I welcome you to another Thoughts from a Car. My name is Simon. I will be your idiot for today. So I hope you're doing well. It's a dank, miserable sort of morning here in Northern Ireland. But of course, you're not dank and miserable. You're all sunny and lovely and full of the joys of life. Apart from you. Cheer up, mate. You're bringing us all down. Anyway, so today's short video is going to be connected to the recent, and when I say recent, I mean the last couple of weeks, there was a ruling by the Supreme Court that religious education here in Northern Ireland needed to be adjusted because it was too Christian focused or something like that. So as you would expect, the little social media accounts were lighting up with outraged people of faith who thought that their entire religion was being attacked. You know, the old persecution complex kicked in. But I don't think it is what a lot of people think it is. There's a lot of fear and anger generated by social media, because that's what social media does. It generates fear and anger. So there's a lot of fear and anger generated over this ruling. This idea that Christianity was under the cosh, that it was going to be, the people of faith were going to be persecuted, that, you know, and all various other sorts of conspiracies were sort of promoted. But I don't think that's the case. I think it's right that there should be a separation of the state and religion. I think when we look at state schools, these are not faith schools, but we're talking about state schools. When you think of a state school as being the sort of mission platform of a religion or a denomination or whatever, then I think you're way off the mark in what RE or religion should be in schools. And for years and years and years, this has been the case. Churches have looked at schools as being a sort of vibrant mission field for them. And I've always been uncomfortable with that. I never really liked that, the idea of it. Whenever I did take assemblies in schools, I made it as general a sort of thing as possible. Usually a sort of moral-based assembly rather than a specifically doctrinally based assembly, though I know that there are some ministers who went into schools and basically did altar calls during the assemblies. So I think the basis of the appeal to the Supreme Court was possibly along those bases, those lines. And when you think about it, all the people who are outraged on social media about this, now imagine it was a Muslim group or Islam that was doing this, that was going into the schools, that was organising assemblies, that were trying to spread their particular religion in state schools in Northern Ireland. What do you think the reaction would be? Many Christians, many other people of faith would talk about indoctrination, they're trying to steal our children away. This shouldn't be happening. And of course, there's no self-awareness or sense of irony in all of this sort of thing. Of course, that seems like a natural reaction, that whenever somebody else's religion's doing it, it's indoctrination. Whenever it's your own religion, that's perfectly fine. They're just giving kids the truth. There's an author called John Loftus who wrote a book called The Outsider's Test of Faith, in which he said, the way that you look at other religions, if you're a person of faith, the way you look at other religions and dismiss them should also be the attitude or perspective that you use when you're looking at your own religion. He said often we are very critical, and I mean critical in the sense of we critique other religions and we dismiss them very easily based on various levels of evidence. But when it comes to our own religion, that's perfectly normal. That's absolutely, what's wrong with that? What's wrong? So there's this outsider's test that we should be applying, and it should be the same when it comes to the place of religion in schools. We should be looking at the outsider's test. So if a Muslim was doing it, or a Hindu, or a Jewish person, was doing the same things in our schools that are currently happening with regards to the Christian religion, would we look at the Christian religion in schools with the same way that we would look at a Muslim input or a Hindu input or whatever? No, it's not. It's maybe the headlines for the Supreme Court ruling sort of give maybe a slightly skewed perspective on it. I mean, my youngest did GCSE RE, and he learned about Islam. That was part of the course, and he learned about Christianity and certain things as well. So it's not so much. I think the problem is not what is being taught in RE, or possibly that what's being taught in RE is being taught as truth and is not given the same skeptical analysis that you would with any other religion. But there's no problem, I don't think, with teaching RE, and there's no problem with having religious groups that meet during lunchtime or after school. I mean, as long as they're not compulsory, why get your knickers in a twist about it? Yeah. So I think the purpose of religion should be to, obviously for Christianity it's to convert people, but you shouldn't be so obsessed with using schools as a way of doing that. You should be relying on your own witness, in inverted commas, to attract people to your religion, whatever your religion is. If you're having to rely on the state's help to do that, then I think you're on a hiding to nothing. But anyway, so, well, look, keep religion out of schools, keep yourself well, drive safely, and remember, if you want to change the world, you should be the change that you want to see in the world, as Gandhi would have said. Gandhi wouldn't have been allowed to take a school assembly in Northern Ireland. So look after yourselves, look after those who you love, and sure, I'll see you some other time. Bye bye.